Pedro, and I'm from group of Professor Pedro Autreto, who gave the talk before. So I'd like to thank the organizers for inviting me. And I'd just like to do some comments about the chemical-free carbon nanotube unzipping, because the simulations here help us to understand what the difference between the single-wall nanotubes and the multi-wall nanotubes when you heating these tubes against aluminium substrate. Like this is not possible to see in the experiment, because the experiment is so fast and you don't have any more information. The single-wall nanotubes, when you heat against the aluminium, you see the stress concentrations occurs in the center. So the tubes open from the center. So you have much more clear edge. And however, for instance, if you use like multi-wall nanotube, the unzipping, when you hit the tube against the substrate, the unzipping occurs via edge. So this is a really good agreement, because now the experimental guys can like correlate those experimental results with the theoreticians. This was the first work by us, of us, in collaboration with Rice University and NASA. Now, I just put it just to make some comments how the simulations can help the experimental people, and the experimental people can help the theoreticians. But this is not the main talk I'm going to use to tell here in 20 minutes. My idea is talk with you about the 3 main papers we have published like this year. One of them we just published like a few hours ago. My idea is talk much more about some of the main forms of carbon. Our group, like the group the professor head of for Professor Douglas Galvão, we have in our DNA the collaboration. We do a lot of alone or own stuff, but we really like to collaborate with people. This will be the 3 papers I'm going to highlight here, and two of them, the nanocons and the burning graphene, is made in Brazil with Brazilian experimental people. The nanocons is Adolfo Joio in the UFMG, and the burning with Professor Stanislav here at UNICAMP. Both of them were published in the Nature Scientific Reports, and I would like to tell all the water impounder like Professor Douglas has said before. So this is some of the forms of carbon nanotubes. And just to highlight, this is the idea of this talk, because the CEPID is more like interdisciplinary meeting. So I'd like to maybe to start some collaboration here with people don't need to be experimental. The first one is a really good idea of Professor Jodio and the people in the UFMG. Is you have like a tip, a gold tip to make some SPM and enhance. So, but the tips are very like you can make a lot of damage in the tip, and you have to replace the gold nanotube many times a month. So one idea is using like a carbon nanocon. This carbon is quite old, but now the people pay attention to this kind of structures. So the idea is using a simple approach and encapsulate like the they cover the gold nanotube using the carbon nanocon. So this idea is quite nice because you can keep the resolution. So because carbon nanotube, the nanocon is quite inert for the resolution, and you can use the tip for more time. Usually, like here, you see the gold nanotube. The people there change the gold nanotube like every week. So now we can use more than one month. But how the theoreticians can help? There are some strange results about this cone, because you have some damage when you use the tip, and you have the damage in gold nanotube and in nanocones. So here's one of the image you can see, and when you using higher power, you see some head shift because of some defective regions. And we would like to understand how the nanotube can destroy or can affect the nanocone and vice versa. So here's some of the experimental results. Normally we use the first finding. I will go to more away. The first result, like the strange result, is that they detect using Raman. I'm not talking about the Raman previous results, and they say they see some detection of triple bonds. So in some way the gold nanotube is broken or it's breaking the nanocon, but they don't know about. And we would like to understand why the damage in gold is less when you use the tip. It's just because the cone arrived firstly in the substrate. This is the idea. To make it, we need some really powerful force here. Because here we have breaking bonds, so or you can create bonds. So we need a force field who allows you to break and make bonds. And this is the method we are using, React that. This is was my first, in my case, the first case about the collaboration between our group and the external theoretician group. So group of Professor Van Doen and Ken State. We were like the first group in the South America to use it, and we are using and try to improve some parameters and develop more about React-SEP. So React-SEP is implemented on LAMPS, and thank you for the invitation. Now we are doing some course of LAMPS today at 2:30 and 4:30, and you can, if you have time, you can see how can you use React in LAMPS. It's almost good, it's a good implementation. So I said it, so now we can go to results. This is the gold tubes, and we scale the colors. We use the color scale using von Mises thread. So give you some idea about the deformations. You can see when you press this gold nanotube against the substrate, you have some deformations. These deformations, it's impossible. You can reverse the deformation when you push the tip. But the difference is when now you include the nanocon. But what is the role of nanocon? So when you press the nanocon against the substrate, you see there's some deformation. Even when you use a lot of dislocation here, you see a lot. The nanocon can help to protect the gold nanotube much more displacement than you do in the experiment. You see here. But the protection is because one really non-usual thing. The nanocon in this region, like here you see the stress and these locations. The red curve is when you don't have the nanocon, this step, and the black one is when you have the nanocon. So you see, when you approach the tip on the substrate, the stress increase really fast in nanocon. It's because, like, when you have the naked one, the tip can deform and can alleviate the stress. But when you have the nanocon protects the some sliding, some plane sliding in this plane sliding. So the tip have or must to keep the shape. So this can protect the tip in that shape, but increase a little really fast the stress in this system. And this is one of the questions: how the nanocon protects the gold nanotip. The second one is about the triple bond. This occurs mainly because when you press pull a lot the nanocon against the substrate, you create some you make some reactions in nanocon, and you create new bonds between these. You need to replace the nanocons in this case. So this is the first case. We can understand the mechanical properties and as well the reaction in this system. The third really good thing about the nanocon is chemical inert. So you can use the nanocon, the tip, and when you do, like here you have the nanocon, and I include like some atmosphere. Here is oxygen. So you see the oxygen don't react with the nanocon. So the nanocon protect the oxidation of gold, and it's just one oxygen this bond in the nanocon. So this is just to see how inert is the nanocon for here we use oxygen, but we tried for hydrogen and many other atoms in atmosphere. So this is the first paper we have published this month. We can predict how nanocons could be efficient to prevent the damage and the triple bonds, and how the contaminants could be attached to nanocon. So this is a really nice paper with Professor Giorgio in UFGW. The second paper I'd like to highlight now is just published a few minutes ago. Is another really good problem of Professor Stanislav in the CSS here close to us. Professor Stanislav create a really smart experimental approach to burn graphene. Like you burn graphene, you burn carbon easily, no? But Stanislav create a way to burn layer by layer. So you can take the graphite and burn layer by layer and choose how many layers you have in your final system. This is the approach is not that hard to do. It's really cheap to do. It's just you have the cold walls and just the cold wall, and you have to make the graphite suspended on grid. Here you have a graphite suspended on grid, and here when you have supported on the substrate. You see here, in the first step, the evolution, you see you can burn layer by layer. And when you have a substrate, you just make a hole in the center of your electron beam. Okay, but how simulations can help? How can we do simulation about this? We have a really good approach, but here you have a lot of atoms and a lot of reactions. So our idea is try to simulate as close as possible the experimental setup. We use like oxygen atom, and we use some layers of graphene, and because we are in graphite, we freeze the last layer, and the trick here is the exactly trick something like using cold walls. So we protect the walls using periodic boundary conditions. So here's some details about the simulations, and we can talk later. So look how the simulations can see the experiment occurring. Like you have here the oxygen atoms, and start to eat, to burn the first layer. And when the first layer went out, the second layer will start to be burned. And the second layer starts the evaporation of the burning. So this is exactly what Professor Sandlab had seen. And what happened? It's because when the burning starts in several places, non-correlated places. So and when it starts, the first layer is the accoupling of the second layer. So we have like graphene burning. It's not like graphite because we have this decoupling. Like if you'd like to see this experiment, this result is very similar which the experimental guys. Like the first layer decrease, and after the first layer decrease completely burned, the second layer started to decrease. And we saw as well like some details about how burn occurs. Like when you have a complete combustion or an incomplete one. Yes, just a little. I'd like to go to 31 just to keep the time. So in the last papers, we have good names for our projects and the group. So this is how to make water impounded. Use when to say CEPID, but here the best idea, the idea is how can you open the nanotube in a controllable way. So the idea is you can use like two different tubes, one functionalized with OH and another one with COH. So, and you put together like you put in your kitchen, and use mechanical cooling, just use your some stick and put together, and you see the water appear. It's a really simple experiment to do. Like it's been really impressive because nobody has tried before. So, and when you see, you have like a multi-oak nanotubes, and after that you have some graphene tube. So the mechanical and the reaction can open this tube. The reaction is not that hard to understand. Here's some much more images about the how the tube looks like. Like you have CNTOH and the graphene at the end. Have a really good image to see. Really here you have and graphene. So the reaction is not a hard to understand, no? Because you have CO2 formation and water formation. It's like we tried a lot of ways to make the chemical and comparing the energy. Here is the time we use reactor and EFT together to compare the energy, because this is really important for us, really tricky. And you see when the tubes approach, and you have like some charge here, and after the formation of the water and the CO2, we have exothermal reaction, and this heat can break the C bonds. This is a non-conventional idea how this local heating can break carbon-carbon bonds. So, like our theoretical approach was divided by two. Like the first one to listen to the reaction, and there is net, Professor has said before. And second one is how this local heating can break the bond and open the tube. So the first one here, we use NAP. Professor before Angelo said about the NAP a little. And it's a really good way to estimate the barrier. And you see the distance between the tubes is not that big to start the reaction. You don't need that big distance to start the reaction. And after this reaction is exothermal, so you can the system provides energy to the system. And after this, we use like heating, like local heating, to see how it breaks the nanotubes. And this is using like more or less a 3 kilocal per mole. You can like break the heating. So this is a really good way, because this we cannot do with the FT. So many atoms, and but the reaction we can understand using the FT. So I'd like to highlight these 3 papers. Here three works. I really like to remark you, like 2 of them is made completely in Brazil with Brazilian people, and it's really satisfying. We really appreciate it. So I'd like really to thank you, the capacity and many institutions we have worked with in the world. Thank you very much.
Questions? Nimal, when you did the nano cone indentation, when you were doing the nano cone indentation problem, was the substrate, what was the material of the substrate, or is it a rigid substrate?
No, here we use like in the simulations we use a van der Waals, like atom. It's just a wall. We don't use a specific substrate to do it. Yeah, it's just a wall to press against in the simulation. So this STM is used for many like kind of substrates like copper or many other things. But in the simulations here, we use like a van der Waals wall. Like it's just a substrate. It's just here's just a wall, like when using the lamps. It's just a constraint. Here, it's just a constraint. Like we use a constraint here, and that's the place the atoms need to solve in the simulator. It doesn't matter about the substrate as well, like because the people using it in many types of substrate, even graphene or graphite or dioxide. So, take the dioxide.
GR and then
When you try to burn the hole on the nanotube, can the same thing be done for the graphite? Can you burn hole on the graphite?
Sorry?
Can you use the same idea to burn
To
that
burn
hole on the graphite?
the nanotubes.
Then you did a nanotube.
No, I did graphite. To burn here.
You burn?
Yeah, to burn is graphite.
Oh, it's graphite. Okay.
Yes, here, like,
No, I'm talking about when you optimize the nanotube,
okay,
and then you can create local holes and the local bending,
yeah,
right?
yeah.
And that is done also to the graphite. This is basically burn off everything.
Yeah, but layer by layer.
But layer by layer.
Layer by layer.
Can you do it like locally, just one small hole somewhere is possible?
Yeah, you have to protect the edge. So, like, if you can make a setup to protect the edge.
And your good work will be the last one.
I mean, I think.
Right,
May
you
I add a
optimize
point?
it, right?
He wants to functionalize
Right.
graphite
Okay.
Yeah.
and then not burn, but react.
Ah, okay, react with them.
Yeah.
Okay,
React and then,
yes,
Release
possible.
water and makes a hole.
Yeah, it's possible, but I
Right.
don't, yeah, but I don't know if the local, if it can break. Yeah, yeah, because here, when you approach, you have like a small area, like a thin area, when local heating will be applied. I don't know in graphene, because in graphene, we have a lot of plates and this heating can be spread, and so maybe you cannot cut, but we are investigating.
I see. So you can also control the positions, right? Right.
Yeah.
Why do you use the oxygen concentrated atoms and not molecules? Because in the atmosphere we have O2, not O atoms.
This is a way we have developed to here instead, yeah. Like this is just a way to speed up our simulation, because we did it before using oxygen molecules or hydrogen molecules, but you need to break the molecules and go there and burn or go to the substrate. The difference is just the speed, because if you can wait for this process 2 steps, but this is our way we create like to speed up. Like we did some like small simulations using oxygen, but you need to run for more long time, because like you have 2 processes, you have to break oxygen and go there.
So, but I mean, doesn't the oxygen molecule break when it's interacting with the surface? Or do you say it first breaks in the atmosphere and then you have...
Like here you have
oxygen
a
atom?
high temperature, really high temperature, so mainly break on atmosphere. Here's like 2,000 Kelvin.
I mean, so what is the mechanism? Does the oxygen break first without interacting with the surface?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you have like some, because the process is really, really fast. You have both cases. More simple to say. You have breakings in the atmosphere because the temperature is really high and the density of oxygen is really high, and you have the breaking on the surface as well when you do some epochs.
But I mean, what's the binding energy of an oxygen molecule?
I don't know now to say, but like here you have a density is really, really high. So like you have like sufficient energy to break here. But I can see and tell you like this much.
Yeah, these carbon nano cones, how are they produced? And are these cones really stable?
You can buy it.
I can buy it.
Yeah, highly stable.
These are coupling.
You can buy it.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is a kind of black magic, because there is just 2 or 3 companies in the world can do. And I was talking with one of them, it's really tricky to make, but really, really stable.
Third question, is there, say, a size limitation for these cones? For the tube, in principle, there is no size limitation. The length can be as well. It doesn't exist major, but for the cone, I can imagine that
They have only 2-3 types.
Yeah.
Anyone?
Is it a very sharp cone with a single atom at the bottom?
No,
Or is it flat?
it's a multi-wall.
Okay.
And you have many angles, so you can like improve your.
This is commercial, not for 15 years.
I'd like to ask a question myself.
Yeah.
I'd like to get back to his question. You see, in this burning here, you do see the burning. That's fun. But the actual mechanism of the reaction, I'm not worried about the oxygen content because it's just just increase the partial pressure of oxygen enriched atmosphere. There we have. But the mechanism, does oxygen molecule attacks first the bonds and then they break it, or is it that the oxygen dissociates and then becomes a radical and then it attacks?
Yes, for not include it in the transparent, but in the paper. Like, depend on the temperature, and you have several types, the 3 types of products. You have CO, CO2, and CO3. So in this case, you have like different mechanisms in the burning. So sometimes you have like the oxygen attachment and then the carbon, and you break the bonds and go CO. And sometimes the oxygen stay there and they wait for the new CO and make CO2, and depend on the temperature. So the mechanism depend on the temperature.
So just like real chemistry,
Yeah.
complete burning or not
Yeah,
incomplete
exactly.
burning.
Yes, it's the same I showed here. Sometimes you have complete burning, depending on the temperature. It was here. No, you see.
Yes, this.
Yeah, when the first layer, like you have much more CO2, so they all can break down on the surface and wait to the next all. And
If you match the experimental data for the graphite burn,
No, I know. I'm not worried. I was just curious to know how
yeah,
like
like
the reaction
the
takes
second,
place.
the second one is more like CO, so it's more fast because the temperature is a little bigger. So you have the production of, you have CO2, but you start to increase the CO. The second one totally improves.
I think you increase CO because the amount of O2 decreases.
Exactly. Yeah, you.
The experiments performed at those temperatures.
Yeah, the really big range of temperature.
The experiments.
Yeah, exactly.
Doesn't it melt?
because it's protected, doesn't melt.
Yeah.
Because it's the secret experiment was to use cold walls chamber. So you are protecting the edge, so no melting and no fast reaction. If you do not protect the edge, it burns like everything. Make a roll along the layers, start burning from the layers. So it changed completely when you protect the edge. It was a good find. Change completely. You can go up to 3,000 before destroying the sample. If you do this, not protect the wall, it burns everything before 2,000.
Just for curiosity, have you measured, but the experiments have measured those products using mass spectrometry or something like that, or?
No, they use indirect identification or burn.
Spectrometry.
Any further questions? If not, let's thank some.